Emily Switzer from Canada. We created this beautiful look together. I'm still very happy with. And first I have a turntable video for you guys ready. Gonna share this now, my screen. Let me see, hopefully you now see the turntable video. This is the look that me and Emily created in Clo, based on my little sketch. And we just experimented with the patchwork that you can see in the top layer, and really try to play around with different scales, different lightings, different materials. So everything was developed into this outfit during, and this was the closing look of the Helsinki Fashion Week that we did. So this was the animated part that we developed. Of course, it started all with the techniques and the construction and putting everything together and playing around with the materials that I had here. Funny thing, she is based in Canada, so it was also very nice to work with someone like 6 hours later. It is there earlier. So we had to sort of be very like structured in our time schedule to recreate a look like that. And then there is something really cool that we developed together, especially for this exhibition, together with Alvanon. That's the company who has very beautiful Alvanon doors where I design everything on in real life, but they also have a super nice digital doll. And me and Emily created an interactive version of that silhouette that you just saw, where you can, in the museum, actually play around with the doll. You can turn it around, you can zoom in, you can do whatever you want. So to be like interactively part of this design is something that we did especially for the museum. So you can actually do it and experiment with it. And here you can, let me see, if you zoom in, you can actually see the patchwork from up close, all the little details of all the laces that we used in the real life collection. And actually this part, the lacing part, it's called fan lacing in the very traditional corset world. And this is something that is so difficult to do in the digital world. So I'm so happy that we could translate this into this certain technique and really were able to create this interactive part. And what I've seen is that you are now next to the real version, like after all this digital storytelling, what I just did. And of course, I didn't did this. It's all Emily and all Alvanon who are like the experts here, but you're standing next to the real thing. So maybe you can show and get a bit closer and show the patchwork and the fan lacing into real life.
Yes, I will. So I will turn my camera. You see this amazing piece here behind me. And now I'm gonna switch the camera to go into a little bit more detail. So as you probably won't see it from very far away, it just looks super pretty. But if you go and really going around it, you see all this detailed patchwork that I can imagine. Well, I know I saw Tess just before. It's a lot of work doing this, and it looks amazing. And then here, up here is the fan lacing, what she just spoke about. So this is me, my new career as a camera. I don't think I will be hired, but hopefully.
No, you're doing a good job. This is perfect. Actually, funny thing is, the patchwork indeed takes forever. It's like all little scraps of material that we put together. But actually we developed something else for this exhibition, so you can experience it yourself, basically.
Cool. So what I have here on my left side is the patchwork table. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what is this machine?
Machine, love it. Well, I really wanted to show and share with people like the entire process of this collection. So starting at the lower level with the digital version, and then now in the ballroom with the more crafted version. I think I created this installation together with Projectbureau-x and Floor Nijdeken. And this is an installation that you can contribute to a massive patchwork. And then after the 2 months of exhibition, I will actually create a new demi-couture design with it. So Glenn, just take a seat and just sort of guide us through the steps that you can take. Everything is described on the table, so just let us know what's going to happen now.
I will. I would have been super multitasker if I could both film and patchwork at the same time, but I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Sophie while taking a seat. And of course, I cheated a little bit with the steps, so I prepared a little, but it all says here all the steps. So the first one is to choose a piece of patchwork and place it on the fabric inside the patterns marks. So here are some marks, and I already picked one from the box. So now I'm getting, of course, a little bit nervous with all of you watching. But then you can choose different kinds of yarn. So up here you have like very thin, thicker, and medium. You just take a bit off it and you use this amazing scissor. I think this is the most pretty scissor I've ever seen in my life. So you just cut a piece and then you can start. And basically the cool thing about this is that everyone has a different technique, or you have none at all. I'm going to shake a little bit. Oh my God, because maybe, oh yeah, that's already wrong. So please take your time. We have 4 spots on the table, so you can take your time doing this. I'm gonna make the first piece. This is, yes, at least it's stuck. So that's one. And the cool thing is Tess, of course, started herself and some of my other colleagues as well. And you see really different things being done. I even see a nice little heart added here. So what's also you can do is you can like cut different pieces, so you can really make it fit in between those lines. And I will finish this later, I promise. But otherwise you have to, I think maybe this will take me 10 minutes or so. And then the next step, or the final step, is to scan this QR code, and it brings you to a page where you can write your email address. So Tess will keep you up to date about the patchwork design, because she will actually make something out of this. So we will all collaborate on this piece. So I'm hereby inviting you to please come and join and finish it. So you don't have to be an expert. I've never done this, so it will all be good. And then we come to the final part. I saw some questions already popping up in my phone screen that we can now answer, but you have to give me 2 seconds because I'm gonna walk next to the computer, because it's quite difficult to read them from my iPhone. So here we go. I will be on a different screen. So, and I see a lot of questions. Tess, are you ready?
Yes, of course.
Born ready. Okay. How did you source the fabrics?
Well, that was the thing. During the lockdown, I developed this whole collection, and I really wanted to challenge myself to work with what I had around me. So here in my atelier, I'm quite a collector. So I have loads of material, scraps, and I never throw anything away. So in the collection, well, you see a little sneak peek behind you, and maybe people have to watch it more carefully when you're in the screen again, but it's all made out of little tiny scraps of material that I had left here. Mostly was from my latest collection, of course, and that was the collection I also presented at your museum, and that was the collection 15, made out of vintage wedding dresses. And actually Laura Dols is one of my if I'm gonna say friend, she would. She's my friend. Okay, let's say that she's my friend, and she's been providing me with these amazing materials all the time that she can't do anything with. So I am always trying to upcycle old garments, vintage wedding dresses, sweaters, duvets, blankets, everything, even tea towels I used in this collection. So yeah, it's basically everything that I had laying around here, also because of the lockdown, but also because I thought it deserved this to have its second or third life.
Amazing. There is a question which I found super interesting and really would like to know, how long does it take you, and probably additional helping hands, to create the patchwork dress that you show? How many hours approximately, if you have an idea?
Okay, wait, maybe I can grab something here. Maybe that's better. Okay, I'm gonna take the biggest one though. Just to make it extra dramatic, this whole live stream session. This is the blouse with like a train that it's like, I think 3 meters with all patchwork details and everything. I think, okay, multiple people worked on it. Like, of course, when the lockdown was a bit less strict, I had a few interns here running around and making patchworks. So I think we worked on this particular item with maybe 5 people. And then I think in total, 1 month. And then every person a month, 4 weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
I think so.
So is your studio like waterproof, or how do you call that? No leaks or any? This would be really a nightmare for you to. Well, that would be in any case. Sorry, going off topic.
Well, I have a beautiful atelier in Amsterdam, but you know Amsterdam buildings, like even I'm based in a very old school, so it's a super nice and big space. It's light, it's nice, but it's still Amsterdam, right? So yeah, you have to protect your garments really carefully.
Agree. We know all about this here in the museum. Do you see a possible future where fashion becomes entirely non-physical? So for instance, designing for avatars only?
No, I don't. I really see the digital world for me as a technical tool to help me create more sustainable garments. And that's also how I looked at it during this process. Because like the animated parts and the avatars and creating a nice angle and dressing up like not real people is really nice. But for me, that feels a bit more like entertainment. That's also good because I think the creative industry should also serve an entertainment role. But for me personally, I need materials in my hands and I need to make physical garments. Like that's just my urge as a traditional designer. And I was also a bit hesitant to the whole digital development. But now when I was in the middle of it and experiencing it and talking to so many interesting people working in the digital industry for way longer than I do, I think it could be very beneficial for traditional crafted designers to help out your processes even better and sustainable even further.
Yeah.
I don't know if you hear it, but like the police is passing by, but no sound hopefully.
No, you're still good. We only hear you. And
okay, perfect.
I think that actually leads nicely to the next questions about what are the most influential factors that can move designers towards practicing environmental sustainability? So yeah, you were talking about digital, that being also a sustainable way of designing. But what do you believe are the most influential factors for a designer?
Craftsmanship, definitely. I think that's where it all starts. Like crafts is sort of, it has to do with knowledge and it has to do with knowing where stuff is coming from and knowing what the symbolism is behind certain techniques, also storytelling, that all comes out of crafts for me. That's why I love doing crafts, and this is a dedication to patchwork. In the exhibition, you can read all about the concept behind this patchwork collection, more into depth. Also into the techniques that I used are explained there. So I would really recommend you to visit and read all about it, because I think the digital world is so good, but it needs to get its parallel sort of position to the traditional craftsmanship. And I think if we can get there, I think then they can both like help each other to accelerate, like get even better, get even more sustainable. But for me personally, crafts is the way. And crafts also means collaboration for me. Like what I did, for instance, with Floor Nijdeken, like the crafted table that he built, not me. And all the other like crafted designers that worked on this collection. I think that is sort of the glue for me that makes it all sustainable and with so much more dedication and love that I think fashion really needs.
Yeah. And what are the digital tools? What did they give you that drawing didn't, or crafting?
Yeah, I think crafts is also, it takes forever. What I just explained about this dress, the funny thing is that using the digital tools, I could easily experiment with the materials that I had and create this patchwork and just use in one click like a bigger scale and just see how it worked on my garment. I could use different, like we used a certain shiny coating on top of the patchwork. We experimented basically that in the digital world to see how shiny we want it, how stiff do we want the material, does it need some interfacing, it doesn't, or does it need transparency, or does it need to be like solid. We could like literally in the material and also in the fit, we could really experiment so much more with everything that I already had and really improve everything. So for me it was the tool that I needed to get this concept going and to really get this concept to improve and to get better.
Okay, thanks for that. And is there, let's do a final question. Is there an innovator or innovative solution, a new material or dyeing or any other that you would like to work with for your upcoming collections?
Ooh, nice. Ooh, I really don't know.
Maybe you haven't even thought about a next collection like this.
I'm never gonna do this again. That's what I always say at the end of like getting everything out there. Like my team always laughs at me like, ha ha ha, that's what you say every year. No, I don't know. I think I would I think I really want to develop the whole digital part even further, because I think I just sort of tiptoed into that little world and just experienced like the little things, but that there's still so much to discover for me. So I really want to dive into that even more. But there's one technique that I always think is super interesting, and it always comes from Dutch heritage with me. That's something that keeps inspiring me, and that's a certain craft that's about stiffening the material, how they did that. But that's something that is always somewhere here in my brain and sort of not letting go. So perhaps that could be an interesting angle on protecting your materials and stiffening it and giving it certain coatings. It's a real interesting technique they used back in the days, and it's completely gone now. But yeah, maybe there's room for that. But don't don't ask me next year like, why didn't you use this? But I really don't know. But it's something that it's always something that's in my mind, that I want to do something with. But hey, who knows? If you have a nice craft or a certain technique, everyone who's watching, always send it to me. Like I always like diving into new new adventures.
Great, that's great. That's a great way of ending. So be aware, Tess. You might maybe your email will overflow.
No, no, do it. I love it.
Okay, good, nice. Well, Tess, I want to thank you for being here today, but also for your amazing work and collaboration again with us here today. Really, really cool. I'm super happy to have met you and that we're doing this together again in an even larger scale this time. For everyone who is lucky enough to live in the Netherlands, Tess will give 3 tours herself physically that you can sign up for. There are tickets that you can buy online. So this was just a sneak peek, but yeah, it's obviously there's more to see throughout the whole exhibition. We will go throughout the 4 phases. But if you're not living here, we do digital tours as well. And you can, of course, just explore yourself. There will be a handout with all the descriptions so you can read and discover for yourself as well. And if you're not done or sick of the digital events for today, there is one more this afternoon at 5 on our Instagram with our comms director, Anne Ro, and Jessica Kiyasi. So maybe we see you there and hopefully at some of our other events or physically here in the space. Thank you all for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.